Live from Dirt Floor Studios in Chester, Connecticut, this is Where We Live. I'm John Dankosky. Dirt Floor Studios is a little bit off the beaten path in more ways than one, and it's a place that I've been trying to get to ever since it moved to its new location here in Chester. Eric Lichter is a guy whose music I've listened to and followed for many years. I actually even got a chance to play a little bit of music at your old Dirt Floor Studios, but this new place, which we'll be talking about, is amazing. It's set off in the woods, and it is a beautiful place to be and to make music, and we're going to hear some music in just a moment. But first of all, Eric Lichter, welcome to Where We Live, and thank you so much for having us out here.
Well, thank you for being here. It's long overdue.
So tell me a little bit about where we are before we start hearing some music. Where exactly are we in the world?
We are located in the Connecticut State Forest, in the Cockaponset State Forest in Chester, where I've been for the last 7 years. And it's as remote as it gets, you know, at least in this area. You feel detached.
In this place, Dirt Floor Studios is now seemingly in a place for some time. It's got a little bit of a home, but it's a place that you started several years ago, and it's moved a couple times. Tell us about that, about the evolution of Dirt Floor.
Well, first I had to kind of come to terms with what I really believed Dirt Floor represented. Because if I thought any more about it, it could have bummed me out and probably would have, deterred me from continuing on. Because everybody wants a place that they're going to be able to put their roots down, especially if it's a recording studio with stuff you have to move around. So I really, after the first 2 years, right around the time you and I met, I started to make some records that really had some meaning to them. And I think that Dirt Floor, it was at that moment I realized that Dirt Floor was more of a spiritual thing, and it had more of a soul than so much as a geographical location, if that makes any sense. I think it exists. It's not a place. It's a certain sound. It's
a sound, and it's a place in your mind. But you to a certain extent, to make a sound, you need to have a place, right? To make a certain sound, you need to create a home for it. And so you eventually you found this place, which seems almost entirely perfect for the sound you're trying to create. It's out in the forest.
And that was not done alone. Yeah. I was lucky enough a couple of years ago, I was making a record, as I do. I had a really sweet man come down from Newport, Rhode Island, and he wanted to make a record because, well, he was at that stage. And he's Skip. He's the guy behind James there. He is that man. And we made a beautiful record for all of the right reasons. When you make music because you love it for no other reason, and you feel a pull, I think beautiful things come from it. And we did that. He had a song that he had written for his daughter, 1,000 Acre Smile, which is beautiful. I have a daughter. So it resonated deeply with me, and we made a beautiful record.
She's a girl with 1,000 says I love you, you got to be in the girl with 1,000 acre smile.
Skip comes to me one day and he says, I want to help you out. I want to back you. I want to kind of see where this thing goes. Because, well, I don't have any money. I'm a musician. You know what I mean? And I've always leapt, first. I've always been a leaper of faith, And we did it, and we looked around, and some of the places weren't right. One was a big old church in Moodus, which was not right at all. It was really cool, but it was a lot to take on. And then this place showed up, and it has not been easy, I got to tell you.
What we're going to do is let's listen to a little bit of music, some music that you're going to play with your friends, to the folks that came out here. Carrie Powers is a singer-songwriter who has a new self-titled album. She records here at Dirt Floor, and she's been on our program before. Carrie, good to see you once again.
Thank you. Good to see you.
And James Maple, his album called American Dreams, recorded here at Dirt Floor. He won a handful of awards at the Connecticut Music Awards earlier this year, including the Album of the Year. James, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Of course.
So you guys are going to play some music, maybe to illustrate for us a little bit of the Dirt Floor sound. What are we going to hear first?
Sure, I'm going to play a song called Train in the Night. At an old kitchen table in the summertime, I was the queen of caffeine in every sleepless night. Said you love me, I believe what you said. Still drift through some days with your words in my head and in my heart. They pull me in, cut through the dark with a mystical light, like a train in the night. Hear a baby crying, that was 20 years ago. Hard to believe our boy's grown into a man of his own. Remember the park bench you'd be waiting on. I held on to that hope until it died out in my arms, yet in my heart. Truth fosters love, charges the dark with a paladin might, like a train in the night. Picked up my mail, you changed the house. It's good you made your way. Chose our hearts, pull them in, riding the dark till it trailed out of sight, like a train.
Carrie Powers on Where We Live. It's such a beautiful song.
Thank you very much.
I've heard you play that song before, and it's very emotional. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
What's special about this place to you?
I think just the natural vibe. You know, you come in and there's no expectation whatsoever. And I really believe that's how art should be made. It is about the art first, you know. And there's no such thing as pre-production here, which is very, very appealing. Just magical.
It's interesting because you can put a lot of pressure onto something, especially if it's your first record or if you're paying for your own record, you're trying to put something out. And I'm sure you see this all the time where the amount of pressure that you put on yourself to get something right when you're trying to get something out, it can warp the art so much, right?
Well, that's it. I think right can mean many different things, especially in the context of making music. And my job is, above all else, aside from helping to play instruments and helping arrange, is to be a cheerleader. You need someone there who believes in what you're doing and who is a positive energy and a positive force. Because when you're creating, as you know, with anyone who is creative in any line, it does not take very much to sink. So the idea is to take that window of opportunity that an artist has and really make the most of it and pull as much of the good out of them. Because you have a window, and I think is the consistent thing that I hear from people when they've left and gone on with the music, with their records out into the world. That was the feeling, that they were being coached and that they had somebody who was working hard as they were. I mean, that's what you want. You don't want a yes man.
And there's also, we're sitting here in you call your live room, right? It's a living room, and your kitchen's off to the left, and we're surrounded by these instruments, which we'll talk about in a moment. And the place is open on both sides, and I can hear, as you're playing, I can hear crickets on one side, and I can hear birds on the other side. And I've seen online, Eric, you're doing tracks out in the woods. You're doing a lot of work right outside.
All summer we've been setting up bands, Jonah Tolchin and a few other people. I think James and I may have done a few things. We set them up right outside. Yeah. It sounds fantastic. The drums have never sounded better.
Yeah. Echoing off the tree.
Yeah, echoing. You can hear every once in a while a cricket or a bird. I think it's magic.
The other day we did that session and the bugs were too loud. Remember, we had to scrap tracks because all you could hear was these bugs.
But we do things like have bonfires, and cookouts, and we have an artist cabin, and we really wanted to, make it a place that was cozy for the artists, because they also want to be comfortable and not feel that they're in a sterile environment.
We're talking with Eric Lichter. He's the owner, operator, and producer at Dirt Floor Recording Studios in Chester. It's hard to explain. It's an amazing place. It's out in the woods, and some of the very best music that's made, not just in Connecticut, but in this entire part of the world, comes out of this place now. We're going to be talking about more of that music in just a little bit, and we're going to be hearing some more music, including music from our other guests who are here, people who work with Eric at Dirt Floor, Carrie Powers, whose song we just heard, and James Maple, who works very closely with Eric here at Dirt Floor. He's got an album called American Dreams. Welcome to Where We Live, James. It's really good to meet you and to have you on the show.
It's nice to be here. So
what brought you here in the first place, to work with Eric and to this amazing little recording studio in the woods?
We have a mutual friend by the name of Morgan Eve Swain, who is in a band called Brownbird. And I'd heard about Eric's live sessions at the studio, and a friend of mine and I came down to see another mutual friend who was playing the show, Joe Fletcher. So we came down to check out the show and to check out the studio and meet Eric. And then I sent Eric a message on Facebook, and I was like, hey, I'm bored. Do you want to jam? And he was like, yeah, come to the studio and jam. So I did, and I left that day, and I called him, and I was like, I want to make a record with you. I had a couple songs, so I wrote a bunch of songs and started recording a record right away. I was just like a sad guy with a guitar. And we took the songs that I had and broke them down and rebuilt them from the ground up, and they turned into these songs that I never thought they could ever be.
Everybody's got a weight upon their shoulders, and that I know. You need someone to take your hand and guide you down that road.
Now that's like the biggest thing about this studio and working with Eric, and we love to break things down and find the sweetest parts about them and just, magnify the sweet parts. And that's the greatest thing about this place, I think.
Hey, it's all right.
An artist might come in and do something by accident, like we were working on the Ponybird record. One of the tracks on the Ponybird record, and she had accidentally played some riff, which was wrong, but it sounded great. Like there were these overtones that just crossed in such a perfect way, and we wanted to kind of take that and make that a consistent part of the song.
Pretending she's not looking at him, and there's infamously only room for the vain ones. Infamously only room for the pain ones.
At any other studio or, working somewhere else, that person may not have picked up on that part.
Yeah.
Or would have seen it as a mistake and gotten rid of it. But we honed in on that. And not only did we do that, we made her do it. Or I did it. One of us did it multiple times in the song. And then it wound up becoming this theme of the song. So it's those little beauty marks, like on the song.
Mm-hmm. Those perfect imperfections.
Let's hear one of your songs, James. What are you going to play for us?
I'm going to spare you all the story. This is a kind of a newer song. Well, I spent last night at SFO. Coat for a blanket, asleep on the floor. It's 3 in the morning, and they won't let me board. And Lord, I just wanna go home. Just wanna see my mother and tell her I tried. And I can't remember the last time I cried. It must have been September when my grandfather died. Now I know I need to go home. And I take a deep breath, I feel in my lungs. A Grand Canyon swan dive, a Frisco Bay plunge, a midday dream nightmare, being alone. And I've made it here all on my own. I spent all day just traveling round. 1 minute I'm up, the next I'm down, floating above the Long Island Sound. Lord, I'm so close to home. God, it feels good to be home.
Live from Dirt Floor Studios in Chester, Connecticut, this is Where We Live. We are at Dirt Floor Studios in Chester, Connecticut. It's a recording studio that has done amazing work recording acoustic music and all sorts of rock and roll from people who come from all over, not just Connecticut, but from around New England and parts beyond to record in a very special place in the woods. Eric Lichter is the owner, operator, and producer of Dirt Floor Recording Studios in Chester, and he works with James Maple on a lot of other people's recordings, including Carrie Powers, who we heard earlier, and we'll probably hear a little bit later on as well. James, are you surprised at all how much notoriety, acclaim, success you've had with this first record of yours?
Well, I'm still waiting for the success. The notoriety has been pretty good. I'm very surprised, yeah. But I guess, if you put hard work into something and you believe in it, and you have a couple of really good people that believe in you too, you can take it as far as you want, pretty much.
Could you talk, Eric, a little bit more about what you have heard in James's music that you've been trying to work with him on to pull out as you started working together?
Yeah, it was easy for me, as I think we come from a very similar place musically. James is another great example of somebody making music because he has to. It's as natural as breathing to him. And he also doesn't really second guess too much. I think being from the sort of Townes Van Zandt school and some of those other great troubadours of that time, sometimes a really great song is better. You don't need to put stuff all over it.
We come back to this theme again of not overthinking things. And I think when you and I talked years ago...
We don't. He and I are... we definitely don't overthink.
You definitely don't overthink anything, right?
I'm the overthinker for my own music. He's coaching me right now through my own record, which is like Chinese democracy right now.
It's an inside joke there.
Because I can't. It's like the house painter whose own house needs a real bad paint job.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if I answered the
He
question.
just wants you to tell everybody how great I am.
Well,
James is getting to the heart of it here.
James is the best James I know. And he really is one of a kind, for sure. And he put his heart and soul into it. We didn't labor over that record at all. Like we did it in about 6 sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe talk about the process that you go through in recording that's different than what you might get at a traditional studio. When you talk about not overthinking things or just letting things flow, how's it different here than what you might get if you sign up
great,
for...
Okay, great. I was having this conversation this morning with somebody. We were talking about recording studios, and a recording studio is a recording studio. It's a car without a driver. Anyone can do it. Anybody can buy all this stuff. There's open for business sign. I see people do it all the time. I've been doing it 7 years now, so I've learned how to, with Carrie or Wise Old Moon or even Poor Old Shine, who are now Parsons Fields. We were all pretty new at it at that point, but and it gets harder when you're dealing with multiple personalities with a lot of different people, as was the case with Poor Old Shine at the time. There were a number of them in the group, and it was their first time out. So. What was different, the gear wasn't different. I mean, I was running tape. I don't know how different that is. I know there are studios now that have returned to using analog tape because it's kind of the cool thing. I don't have all the trickery that is available. Yeah. Although we do have Pro Tools, and we do use it. When I do use it, I use it like a tape machine. But you can't cheat. It keeps you honest.
Carrie, as a songwriter, you work on songs very hard, and you want to have them in your mind be perfect. And then you're here, and obviously it's this great vibe. So how does that work when you want something to sound a certain way, and then you're working with someone who's like, you know what, it's okay if it's a little raggedy, if it's a little bit not exactly perfect.
It's not so much that I want the song to sound perfect. It's more that I want the song to be the best song it can be, due to the fact that I do work hard, as a writer. And I love what James said about, not being a creative writer. We should all pretty much write what we know. And when you come to a place like this, I think that Eric just brings it to a whole new level. It's not necessarily that you want it to sound perfect, but you want it to sound like you.
You were hard. Carrie was a little hard at first. We met as is normal. We would meet at Simon's, a beautiful little breakfast place in town. We had the meeting. It always starts with a meeting. We got to like each other first.
Yeah.
I have to walk away going, man, I really like that person. I want to make this record for them. I don't know how normal that is in recording studios, because again, I feel like Dirt Floor it's much more than a studio. The meeting happens. We come away. We agree we're going to make the best damn record we can make. And I will stay up late at night, like doing homework, listening to music and studying what they've done. So I listened to her, the Faith in the Shadows record, which was the previous. It scared the crap out of me, because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make a better record than this. I might be in over my head with this one. They're going to find me out. That thing that we all walk around with, I'm a fraud. They're going to find me. This is going to be the album where this is going to be the album that like destroys me. So I had to up my game. So we began work on the record, and it was hard because you had come from the other your other way of working and how you'd done the last record. So it was, a part of it was me having to sort of break some old habits that you didn't necessarily even know that you had. But there was some thinking, there were definitely some furrowed brows and some discomfort at first. Now, I'm only using Carrie because she's sitting next to me. James and I, it was the same way. It was the same with Andy Wakeman, who's in the audience. It was the same with Skip. It was the same with Dave. You know, there was that first day where it's this uncertainty. And I don't know if they like me. I'm thinking, man, they must hate my guts. And then at the end of the day, it's like hugs. It's the greatest thing. And, 24 hours later, because you need to put a song down, let your ears heal. It's hard because we're solving a problem all day long.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of brains at work, minds at work, trying to find our way around the problem. And so Carrie brought in a song called Old Shirt. Okay. Now this, I knew at the time when we were working on it that it was going to be a song that a lot of people were going to know, a lot of people were going to love. Maybe even bringing them to tears every time they hear it. For me, I can't get through it. It's hard. She came to me and said, Jack Forchette, who's this wonderful, incredible man who runs the Infinity Music Hall in Norfolk.
Yeah.
I think he was working with Carrie at that time and said, you need a driving song. So she starts playing it for me, and it wasn't that it was a driving song. It was that she said, we need a driving song. She happened to be playing that. And I was like, we're going to turn this into a driving song. So we turned the beat, gave it this, sort of 4 on the floor feel, some pedal steel, and gave it some of those Eagles-y take it to the limit harmonies.
Yeah, the harmonies are great.
And it was a driving song, and it is a driving song. So she took it back to Jack, who... the moral of this whole thing is he came to me, and now we have a relationship with Infinity based almost solely on that song and my relationship with Carrie.
And it was like one of my least favorite songs that I had written,
Through the dim-lit streets of Coventry, I drove home in the rain. Pulled up to this old house I'm now living in. I sat a while in the driver's seat with the last few years. Busted vows and tarnished rings, faithless tears came apart at the seams that hold an old shirt together.
See, when he said he felt like he was over his head, I felt relief. I thought I finally found a place that I know this album's going to be me. Like it's going to sound authentic and real, and I felt good about it.
We're at Dirt Floor Studios in Chester. It's a house too, right?
It is a house, man.
This is a working home.
Oh yeah, and artists are encouraged to stay when they're making the record. So it's equipped with accommodations for artists who have traveled, to work.
Well, let's do this. Eric, why don't you play us a song?
Oh boy. All right.
But I got love in my heart.
it seems to keep me going, even when the fight in me is gone. I keep light in my life, the good people that I'm knowing. It's the same for you, they'll pull us through to where we both belong. Whoa, 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 whoa. Though I walk a lonely mile, I can feel the old folks smiling on me, keeping me safe from all that's come before. But the soles of these old boots are crumbling, mumbling, and I'm always stumbling towards a future certain I'm gonna lose. So I keep light in my life, good people that I'm knowing, even when the fight in me is gone. And I keep love in my heart, good people that I'm knowing. It's the same for you, they'll pull us through to where we both belong. Whoa, whoa,
Eric Lichter playing live at his studio, Dirt Floor Recording Studio in Chester, playing one of his own songs. We're talking a lot about the music that he produces here at Dirt Floor, but we're also hearing some music from him and some of his musical friends, James Maple and Carrie Powers, here on Where We Live.
Let's dance, let the callers keep calling, oh, let our feet keep stomping, baby, let's dance.
This is Where We Live. We are at Dirt Floor Studios in Chester, Connecticut. It's a recording studio that has done amazing work recording acoustic music and all sorts of rock and roll. Eric Lichter is the owner, operator, and producer of Dirt Floor Recording Studios in Chester, and he works with James Maple and a lot of other people's recordings, including Carrie Powers. Tell me about the balance that you've had to have in your life running this place, creating this new space for recording other people's music, and then trying to get your own music out there. You were making the old Chinese democracy joke, the album that never comes out. Well,
it's applicable for sure.
Well, but talk about that a little bit. How do you balance these two things? Because you could spend all of your day and all of your night just thinking about other people's work.
I do a lot of that, and if you came to my home, you would notice there's no guitar there. That's sometimes a great thing. You know, there are certain nights where I'm like, man, I wish I had a guitar. But I have my iPhone, and what I'll do is I'll sing melodies and things like that. It's very difficult because at the end of a workday, I'm shot. You know, I don't really want to listen to any music at all. I mean, I love it so much. And I think, you know, if that is the thing that I have to live with, that's all right, because I get so much joy out of doing it every single day. I get to do it. But recently, you know, through my friends' support, you know, these guys and Morgan Eve and Joe and Ian, they've been very supportive, saying, man, you're a great artist and you're not really pushing that part of yourself, you know.
James, does he need sometimes a little kick in the butt to put out his own music?
Absolutely. I kick his butt every day I come to work.
Yeah, and it will happen. It is happening. And Steve Whitus, who just walked in, he is Dirt Floor chief engineer. He's actually going to engineer it, so I don't have to. So I can just focus on the playing, which is difficult.
Well, I want to ask, actually, James, we put Eric on the spot to say all sorts of nice things about you. I mean, talk about Eric as a musician. I mean, not just somebody playing his own songs, but just somebody who plays so much music here, backing up other people. in this space on multiple instruments. I mean, this is a versatile guy.
He definitely is. Eric is like a stick of incense. I said that the first time. That's a great thing. Incense is great. People burn it every day, all day, every day. It's calming and soothing, and like you smell good.
There are other analogies, but whatever. That's cool. That's how we do this every day, by the way. Please come and make a Dirt Floor record, and you will get the James Eric Show.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But no, like when I first went to make my record, it was just immediately a comfort zone where I would get there in the morning and I would lay on the couch and put my feet up and tell him about my problems. And then he would unload problems, and then we'd talk about our problems, and then we'd hug it out and then make a record. And since my record and then becoming, a partner here.
Whoa. Slow it down, buddy. Pump the brakes on the partner thing. I'm just kidding.
Eric's the worst guy ever, and you don't want to come and make it.
He's not making it easy on you, actually, is he?
I sat there and took it. And
no, I know.
He's a great guy. No, he definitely inspires me every day that I work with him. I started playing piano since I've started helping out here. I've become a better guitar player, I think. And I just only want to get better at other things, and even just learning like how to mic things and how to work a tape machine and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun.
I gotta ask you to maybe tell us about some of the other music that you've done here that really stands out to you. I mean, things that people might seek out so that they might understand a little bit better about the sound that we're talking about if they don't get it already.
Yeah, there are records that epitomize that. I'll say Ian Fitzgerald.
She could force one thought to cross her unmoved mouth to meet the world to no one in particular. She'd say, I'd love to know where you were.
It's funny to talk about Poor Old Shine, who've gone through a name change, but and I don't think we can even find that record anymore. But we did the Milk, the Cereal Box EP, which is still one of my favorite things. So just seeking them out as Parsons Field.
Well, I came along to find a little peace of mind, neglecting all my duties, stepping off that straight line. Now I just sit on my front door filled with indolence and sounds. It's like I'm watching the weeds grow on my brow. And I had a pure potential in a soiled white shirt, with love enough to kill me, but was unsure of its worth. And though the night is sweetened by some rising of the moon, I've lived enough to know the battle's never through. You pass something down, no matter where or how. Will there be weeds or wildflowers that fixed upon your boughs? And there's a crooked burning cigarette rolling on your tongue. Will there be weeds or wildflowers when you're done?
There are so many, I do not want to forget any. Of course, Wise Old Moon, we did an incredible record with them, Connor Milliken, and those guys over the winter right here in this space.
Well, no one knows where to find him because he's got no place to stay. And no one knows how to talk to him because nobody knows his name. With the black crows circling above him and blocking out the sun, he's got a big hole in his left arm and the bullet in his glove. Well, on and on.
And you know, very few of them come from Connecticut. That is the bizarre thing that I can't quite figure out.
They're coming from where? All over New England? All
over.
Yeah.
You know, very few from Connecticut itself. That I can't explain. I don't know why that is. But Boston and Rhode Island, a lot from Rhode Island. In fact, we have a great relationship with our friends in the Low Anthem, Ben and Jeff and those guys, and they have their own studio, the Columbus Recording Company.
Louisiana on the rail line. Left Louisiana on the rail line. Lost my love before a time.
if I didn't have Dirt Floor to record at, I would be working with them.
Yeah.
They understand. They are fully creative guys. They look at things, I think, a lot of the way I do, and they make incredible records, but we have a very healthy relationship where we sort of are mutual supporters. In fact, I know this is going to air after the show.
Yeah.
But they'll have played right here at the studio.
And you have a live series here as well.
Yeah, live from dirtfloor.com, which it's there's a website, and you can watch all the previously done concerts here. Joe Fletcher, Ian Fitzgerald, Brown Bird, of course, which is probably my all-time favorite one.
All I've seen for 40 nights, ebb and flow, ebb and follow the waves, reflection of our lights, ebb and flow, how small I am in this wide world, ebb and flow, ebb and follow, and how a man can come unfurled, ebb and flow.
Spirit Family Reunion, we did it just a few weeks ago. Jonah Tolchin, Poor Old Shine.
But what's also
amazing.
What's also cool is, I mean, you're naming a lot of artists who are making records and going out on tour, and they're all over America. But you make room here for people who are just trying to get their songs out. I mean, I met you through a mutual friend, a guy named Fred Alford, who's a singer-songwriter and who's not going to, I don't think, go out on a big national tour. But Fred writes some amazing songs.
He's one of the best songwriters I've ever heard.
And I've been lucky to play music with Fred for years, and I frankly haven't for a long time. I need to look him up. But
you see
hey
Sam
there.
over there, right?
How's it going?
That is his son, Sam. In the
Sam,
back.
good to see you, man. Good to see you too. But I think the thing is that you make room for people who are just coming here for the first time to just lay down some songs that they care about.
If I'm going to be articulate, this is the time. But we just hit on something that's so important, and I think using Fred as an example, I want people who want to make music because they love it. I think I mentioned it a little earlier. I don't care. I don't look at. There's no rungs on a ladder. I don't notice those things. James and I had a songwriter come in yesterday from Jamestown, Rhode Island. Just does it for fun. He does other things with his life, but he was very self-conscious. Oh, I know you guys work with all these other, and I don't care. Like you don't get it. I love this song. Like this song right now is my entire world. I don't differentiate. I don't see things like that. So when Fred Alford came to me, however many years ago now, he thought I was shining him on, actually, because I asked him who his influences were, and he had mentioned Jackson Browne and Zevon and all these people, and those are my heroes.
Yeah.
And he thought I was, BSing him. And so he came in and, I was done. I loved him as a person and his songs. And he helped me realize that music is therapy. We don't really think of it as therapy. I think more people should think of it as therapy, because what other kind of a therapy can bring you back to a time and a place?
Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to have James play one more song. Maybe if you guys want to play a song together, you got something?
You want to do? I want to do drinking game. Yeah. You said goodbye. One word, another try. And for all the things I've done, you was coming back. You was hell bent on leaving. I know you must have had your reasons. You left me nothing but a broken heart in this old six-pack. So all along by the phone, just waiting on you to come home, to ease my pain, turn my tears to a drinking game.
James Maple with Eric Lichter here on Where We Live from Dirt Floor Recording Studio in Chester. I want to thank both of them, and I want to thank Carrie Powers for playing music for us and with us on this very special day. It's so good to be here, Eric. Thanks so much for having us out here.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you.
It's
If this
great.
is what it takes to get to hang out with you,
no.
it's cool. And it's great to meet Tucker as well.
Tucker Ives and Lydia Brown produce our show, along
And
with
Lydia,
Katie
of
Tolarski.
course.
And thank you so much for coming out. And thank you to all of you for coming. A nice round of applause for everyone up here on stage. Eric Lichter, James Maple, and Carrie Powers. This is Where We Live.
Well, my clothes are a mess upon the floor. My thoughts keep me from moving to the door. I am weak and I am selfish, and Lord, I just can't help it, 'cause my mind don't stay anymore. Well, I once remembered how to move along, tap my feet to a happy-hearted song. But I am the sick experiment of a crazy-hearted instrument that's played me out and sent me back to where I belong. Mr. Devil, take me down, down, down for a while. Mr.